7:11 on this Sunday morning, the 13th of April, 5 degrees in downtown Montreal. We're looking at a high of 14 for you today. Mix of sun and clouds, mostly cloudy, but 14 is our high. Chris Abel is our tech expert, our tech journalist, and he's joining us live now with the latest from an ever-evolving, ever-changing world. Chris, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Woohoo.
Listen, we have to start things off with the Nintendo Switch, because a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week, we were so excited to announce that, you know, all the changes that were coming to it, all the innovation, and then, you know, Trump and his tariffs. So what exactly happened? Is it being delayed? What is the impact on the tariff?
Yes, and this has always been a concern with Nintendo launches. Every time there's a major launch, people are hounding me like, how can I get the system because they sell it so quickly? So the situation is that last Wednesday was supposed to be the day that you could pre-order the Nintendo Switch 2. And that would have been your best chance at making sure you got one later on this year. However, due to the tariff situation, Nintendo has had to put that on hold. So right now in the United States and Canada, there are no pre-orders being made available. The system is still set to launch June 5th for $630 here in Canada. That's still tentative. It all depends upon what the changes are going to happen with the whole tariff situation as we get closer to June. So what does this mean? Well, fans have decided to respond by seeing if perhaps they could buy the system elsewhere, because it's only on hold here in Canada and the United States. It has been available in Europe and other places like that. Already, it is sold out in the United Kingdom. And this is interesting because I don't know if people who have made those orders realize that they have a different electrical system there. If you have a Nintendo Switch 2 from the UK, it's not going to work with your electrical outlets here in Canada. So
I mean, you can get a converter, but I don't know how that would work for a console, right? Okay, interesting.
Correct. It's not an ideal situation. I wouldn't recommend it. So the current situation is that we are going to wait and see. Nintendo's certainly going to wait and see until June 5th. And even then, that may be tentative. And even then, the price may change. It all depends. There is an exemption that's been introduced in the U.S. based on electronics. I don't know yet if the Nintendo Switch 2 falls under that, but we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen. Now, I know with Nintendo launches, people often ask me if Nintendo's ever guilty in any kind of shenanigans. When Nintendo Wii was completely sold out, I was often asked, did Nintendo purposely withdraw the supplies to put the demand up high, to get the prices going? So I'll answer that well in advance. I will tell you that Nintendo does not make money off of the systems. They make money later on when you buy the subscriptions to their online services as well as the games. So Nintendo will never work to try to deny somebody from having a Nintendo Switch 2, because the only way they make money is if you have a Nintendo Switch 2 in your hands and you start buying the game. In fact, it has already been discussed that Nintendo is saying, look, depending upon the tariff situation, if it gets to be the point where it's so expensive, Nintendo has indicated they're willing to lose money selling the Nintendo Switch 2. So they will be willing to lose money to sell it at a reasonable price because they know they can make up the cost later on with the game.
Oh, yeah, because I was just this morning we were talking about if, you know, Donald Trump was talking, saying that, he's going to try to bring the construction of the iPhones to the States, and then they figured it would cost $3,000 if that happened per phone. So I'm guessing, that could happen. So the price could skyrocket for the Switch, but Nintendo's saying, no, we'll keep it down. You know what I just realized, Chris, and I haven't played video games in so long. When I was younger, you know, you bought the cartridge and that was your game, but you're buying subscriptions now to games, right? That's
correct.
That's the moneymaker. Okay. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with the Switch. But now, I always, you send me your notes, I think sometimes I'm living in a fever dream. What is a rideable robot horse, and why do we need one?
This is amazing. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about robots, and just, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what's happening in the world. And so we are seeing from Kawasaki, the motorcycle company, they have at an expo in Japan unveiled a rideable robot horse. So we are talking about a robot that is as tall and large as a horse.
So terrifying.
4 legs.
So terrifying.
Yes. And it is large enough that you can get up on top of it and you can ride it like a horse. There are stirrups. You put your feet in the stirrups. There's not really quite a saddle. It's much more of a seat like on a motorcycle. And then it can take off. It can walk, it can run, it can canter, it can bounce, it can scramble. It is designed, because this is Kawasaki, who's known for their off-road motorcycles, to be an off-road vehicle. So this vehicle, which has a 150cc hydrogen engine, has adaptive hooves so that it can actually go bounding across and up steep inclines on mountainsides. It can bound across creeks and rivers. It even has the capacity, like a horse, to be able to jump. So if you're coming towards a crevice or an area where the mechanical horse can leap across while taking you across on its back.
No, I'm okay. No, thank you. Okay, we're running out of time, but I want to talk about this little ball-shaped robot assistant from Samsung, and it helps kids. It helps everyone in the house. What is this exactly?
Yes, again, robots, once again. Samsung has a little tiny ball-shaped robot, runs around on two wheels, but looks like it's rolling about your house. So think of this as a little guy like runs around your house like a pet might do so. But it has the capacity to talk to you. It has a camera so it can see you, and has, of course, software that allows it to recognize you. It has built on with a partnership with Google to have Google's Gemini AI on board, so it can actually act as an assistant, not only answering your questions, but to anticipate your needs, to be able to interact with any automated systems that you have in your home. So it can adjust the blinds if you have automated blinds, or your thermostat, or turn on your lights or turn them off, without you having to actually say anything or even have to set up a schedule. It has enough intelligence to be able to go, oh, I know what time of day it is, I'll turn the lights on, that kind of thing.
Chris.
It has the capacity to be able to answer any kind of question. You can turn to it and say, how do I look? And it'll look at you and then give you an analysis of your clothing and give you suggestions for style.
Chris, this is both fascinating and terrifying. Chris Abel, remind everyone where they can find you.
You can find me online socials at Real Chris Abel, KRISABEL, and my website, which is chrisabel.com.
Always so interesting to chat. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.